Hello everyone, BitMonkey here. Today we're checking out a new early access title, Mourn, which is a Necromancer third-person action roguelike. I'm loving this screen, the art, the animation right here. These creatures look great. The background looks amazing, and I love the way that the character's actually looking around every once in a while. She's not doing it right now. There she is. Very cool. So I've already done the tutorial on my own time. I've changed some settings around. You can change your keybinds and whatnot in this, which is totally outstanding for an early access title. I love when I'm able to customize and tailor my gameplay experience like that. Anyways, let's hop right in. I'm probably going to do a run or two just to get a sense of how each run plays and kind of show off what this game's about. I think it's a really unique idea. I wish there were more Necromancer games, because that's the class I really like playing in pretty much any game where it's offered. So we get a healing touch and an arcane bolt. These are your two spell slots. You have two different stances. I'll show you more in the game. We'll get started on that right now. And yeah. Quick loading. So, before we start going forward, I'm just going to go over the basic mechanics. Right now, I'm using the DPS side of the staff. This is where I can attack like this, and then I can cast a magical bolt, which needs a target because it homes in on them. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to my healing side, which allows me to resurrect minions that I kill, and then they become mine, and also allows me to heal a greater minion, which you'll see is my big minion. You have to take them down and res them, and I'll show you that when we get to the first area here. And then we have a space move here where it ever so slightly moves us to the right or left, or wherever our character's moving in the current direction. Yeah, it's going to help me dodge some abilities. So each room, you get to choose what kind of upgrade you want at the end of it. I'm going to go with some monster upgrades. I like focusing on my minions for these types of games. But yeah. So, yep, homing missile there. It stuns the target for quite a bit. And then I'm going to res my character here and get a little minion. And what's nice is that these minions will automatically start attacking things. I don't have to direct them. I hope that I can get a little bit more control over them eventually. But I understand that that adds even more layers of difficulty and depth into what's already sort of complicated to get into, as you'll see. So we don't have any caster minions or support minions, so the only thing that we should be focusing on here is the melee minions. And it'll let you know which minions they affect by showing you the icon. And I'll show you where you can see that on the actual screen as well. So in the top left, you can see all of my minions, and that's how you can tell which minions are going to be affected in your choices. So here we go. We're going to the next area. And the combat feels a little bit like Dynasty Warriors, if I had to kind of compare it to anything, either Dynasty Warriors or I'm not really sure, like the melee champions in Risk of Rain, though there's not a lot of like depth and as far as like the melee combos that you can do, at least not yet. And the abilities that you get are more ranged focused abilities. So I can heal my minion there, my greater minion, and it also heals me at the same time. which is really helpful to keep those guys alive and make sure that I don't die as well. I can sacrifice minions to heal me as well. I'm going to try my best to... oh, I got to heal my guy. I'm going to try my best to sacrifice my minions right before they die, just to get used to that, because I'm sure that's going to be crucial to my survival later on when the game gets more difficult, and it does get more difficult, I'm assuming. So, let's go ahead and get one of the ranged greater champions here. You can only have one at a time, at least in the beginning. I don't know if it gets increased later on. But yeah, let's go ahead and continue on here. He's just telling everybody how much he loves me when he's like... Okay. So what's nice about the ranged guys is that they are just peppering the enemies, and they don't get attacked by the... Or they normally kill things before they get even close to them. So I don't have to worry as much about keeping them alive as I do some of these other minions that are closer up. As I say that, he died. So we'll get another one of these guys up to replace the guy that we just lost. And continue on our path of destruction here. Okay. I think I want to focus on leveling up my healing. It's not doing a lot right now, and I want it to do a lot more. I think I want to sacrifice that guy and bring up a melee attacker. They're a little bit tankier, and they'll protect me a little better. Let's get another one of these guys. Plus, I got the talent earlier that affects the melee minions, so I want to be a little efficient with that choice. Just go ahead and stun him, get in there, and decimate him. Let's go ahead and sacrifice that guy and raise up some of these. Put a heal on. And yeah. Early on, it's pretty manageable. Even though you're juggling between two different stances and two different ability sets, it takes not as much time as you'd think to get used to it all. At least for me. But just be aware, it is cycling between two different play styles very quickly between the two. You go from being all about attacking and then switching over to healing and support in the click of a button and in the heat of battle. There's no pausing to kind of get your bearings and change up your mindset. You have to do it on the fly, which could be a little overwhelming for some people. Okay. So I think with this one, I want to focus on powering up my minion or my DPS minions a little more, just to get the little guys going. The tanks, I think there's going to be only 3 other ones that can be affected, so it's going to be not as helpful, especially in this first run. I think with the DPS minions, there's 5 other choices that we can get later on, and I think some of those are going to be the lesser minions, and then this is like greater minions. You only have 1 of those at a time, at least right now. So even though there's 10 other ones that could possibly show up, you're only going to be affecting one at a time. So I'm going to choose the 3 TPS minions here. And we're going to continue on. So it is important to note that the health bar has a fatigue system, which is a system where the damage you take needs to be healed very quickly, because if you let it be low for too long, there's like a damage over time that cannot be healed back. So as soon as you get hit, it's best to target your big minion with a heal and then move on about your day, or sacrifice one of your lesser minions to just keep your health topped off. Like there, I'm going to go ahead and sacrifice one of my minions, and I am minimizing the amount of fatigue damage that I'm taking, which means I can heal up regularly. Crap. Let me res one of these guys. Okay, there we go. Actually, we want to get this tank up. Get some minions going here. So it does take getting used to going back and forth between the two. Again, I'm going to level up my healing. It just seems to be more useful, for me at least. Let's sacrifice some of our melee dudes and just get 2 archers just to have a bit more ranged DPS to help us out. All right, so this is a sanctuary. It looks like it happens every few rooms or so, but there's no enemies. You just gotta... it's like a store, essentially, and you can remove your fatigue damage, which is, again, unhealable damage. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and there we go. I can have a full health bar again, and like the little mini game that you have to play through this is to make sure that when you do take damage, you heal it as soon as possible. Let's go ahead and get some modifiers. Make our spells a little more interesting than just a basic heal. I need to do a way better job of using my space ability. So let's go ahead and heal up that as quickly as possible. Again, reducing that fatigue damage, and then just going in here and killing all of our enemies. Let's go ahead and stun this guy. It's a pretty decent stun. It's definitely not bad. And let's make sure all 5 slots are filled up. Crap. Okay, this is definitely a bit more difficult than the last few rooms. Just got to make sure I am paying attention to all the health bars, not just my own. And it can get a little hectic. So I take back what I said earlier about it not being too bad as a learning curve goes. This definitely is kind of a tough game. Like I said, you gotta cycle between 2 different mindsets, 2 different skill bars. Even though there's only 2 abilities to keep track of total, I still have to pay attention to, like, dodging and resurrecting and healing myself and kind of doing all the support and not getting hit by by these projectiles that are shooting my way. All right, here we go. All right. I was able to salvage that situation. I was pretty much going to die there if I didn't focus up. So I don't really care about the rooting too much. It's probably good to have a bit of crowd control there. But I want to be able to heal myself a little better and my main minion a little better. So I'm going to get something that adds some healing over time. Because I am not doing a good job of avoiding damage right now. I think the skill ceiling for this game is going to be quite high. And so once this game gets a little more polished in early access, I think it can be a real contender for one of my go-to roguelikes. Like I was saying earlier, this game is definitely tailored to my type of playstyle, which is these minion-centric Necromancer-type classes. And the fact that you're also playing like a healing and DPS role at the same time is kind of not really what I was expecting, but it's definitely very interesting. And it's quite a challenge to manage all of these different health bars, especially when you have to also worry about healing yourself as soon as you take damage. It's pretty fun to keep track of all that. It's just very difficult. And it doesn't really feel unfair, because if I focus and stay on top of my cooldowns and focusing the correct targets at the correct times. Ooh, that's a new minion. I think I don't think the game's unfair in its difficulty. I think I can do a good job at managing all of these different mechanics and health bars. Let's see. So this one would scale really well if I had like passive ways of increasing my maximum life, but I don't currently. If I had this, that would be a good combination with that, but I don't. So if I control exactly one tank minion, it grants them a buff that does quite a bit of nice stuff there. So I think since I have only one tank right now, that would be a good option. I currently don't have any way of gaining barrier as well, so having just 30% more maximum HP could be pretty decent. And this limits the build to make sure I only have one tank minion, and if I want to switch that up later, it's going to pretty much make this useless. So I'm going to go with Purity of Flesh. I think that that's just better for me right now. I could be wrong there. I think having that buff on the tank is probably pretty good. Let's go with the spell upgrade. And yeah. I wish that this, I think it would help if there was a choice of like being a melee focused or range focused character, because having to be up close and in person for the fight is a little daunting. Because you're constantly putting yourself in harm's way. And it's a little bit different than the normal playstyle for a Necromancer class. It's more like a Death Knight, generally, would be. Alright, let's go ahead and sacrifice some of these guys. What is hurting me? It is a little hard to see the projectiles sometimes, especially when your health is low, because it, the screen kind of turns red and the projectiles are red. So that's a little... That doesn't feel nice. But that's okay. I just gotta always keep moving. And I think it'll be okay. Let's go ahead and sacrifice that guy to get one of these guys back. Heal that guy. And take care of these. Heal up. I'm sure this will feel a lot nicer once I get some more abilities going. But also having a limited moveset right now is nice for learning how to swap between the two stances and really optimize the playstyle. Let's get more of that healing touch. I'm going to need it more and more as I am starting to take a lot of damage. I might actually just get one shot by some monsters here. My character does not do a lot of damage. That is for sure. Let's go ahead and heal our guy. Dodge out of the way. Yeah, I almost got one shot there. I'm hoping not to get hit by an AoE here. Don't hurt me. Gotta heal that up as soon as I get hit. Or try to, at least. Ah! Alright. We're back to a decent point. I need to go back and start rezzing these guys. It's nice that if you start rezzing something, it stays at the point that you were at before you stopped rezzing. So if you can see over there, I started rezzing one of these caster greater minions, and it stayed. Like a progress stayed where I was at before. It doesn't seem to decay either, so that's pretty nice. Let's keep our big guy topped off. Sacrifice that guy, get another one out. Alright. Not bad, not bad. I definitely need a sanctuary room, which I hope is the next room. It's not. Okay. Let's get another spell modifier. I may actually just die in this area. Like, I'm already taking a lot of damage there. Ah, Jesus. All right. Oh, I need a big guy. Yeah, the archers definitely do a lot of damage, and they attack very quickly. So let's check out some of the meta progression here. It looks like I'm doing just basic leveling up there. Oh, that's a lot of extra spells here. All right, we'll check them out in a second. Okay. So I'm guessing we just go back to plate. That's right. Okay. So we have 8 new talent points. Let's check out the talent tree. So it looks like this is for the healing. This is for the damage stance. Spend points to get bonus for you and your army. I can remove points freely. I love that. I love, especially in these types of games, where there are multiple different build paths you can try out, and it can be locked behind the talent tree. Having a system where I don't have to pay any kind of resource to respec is greatly appreciated. I think it respects the time of those playing and experimenting. Okay, so healing is pretty good, but I think movement speed will be a little bit better so I can move out of the way of these arrows a little bit easier. So we'll get all the way up that. Inflicts bleed, I like that. Though, let me see if I have enough points to make it up here if I don't do that. Oops. So if I just get these 4 here, and then I go 1, 2, 3, 4, I make it almost there to get this. Ooh, an extra dash. Okay. Oh, 15% cooldown reduction is pretty dang nice to just have passively. So let's just go up here and get one of these 3% cooldown reductions. We'll have some extra damage too. That'll help us out. And our minions will have extra damage and extra cooldown reduction. I like the fact that it helps us both, but I guess in the future it would be cool if you could focus on powering up yourself a little bit more, or focus on your minions, or have like a hybrid tree that's more like these 2 trees here. But again, there's so much that is going on here that I'm happy that it's pretty simple right now. Okay, so let's see what new spells. We got Swift Slice, so that's a melee bleed attack. Since I'm melee, that's probably better than having the Arcane Bolt. Though I will say that this does not interrupt the minions, but honestly, having a quicker cooldown skill that does more damage, slows, and applies a damage over time seems pretty good. And then we have Shattering Strike, which has a long cooldown, but is another AoE high damage one, and inflicts Shatter. And Shatter removes and prevents shield effects and barriers. And then it also stuns, I guess? I don't know why it's having the stun there. I'm guessing that it also stuns. Or if there's... Okay, so it's a combo. Sorry, I didn't read the word that's right above it. So if the character is stunned, it does extra damage to them. So that's actually... So it pairs well with the Arcane Bolt. However, I don't know if it's worth it to have the 2 and remove a spammable ability that's also ranged and has AoE. Or it's not super ranged, but it's I'm already up there close anyways. So having a wave-based ability that can take care of multiple enemies, that's way more spammable than this by 3 seconds. I feel like that's a little better than having the combination here. So I'm going to try out that, and then we have a bunch of new healing spells, it looks like. So the one here is pretty nice. I like... Ooh, there's another combo here. But I like the healing myself and the greater minion at the same time. The low cooldown feels nice. And removing a debuff is probably really helpful once the monsters start doing more damage to us and applying more status effects. This sounds nuts. Seed of Hope. It does have quite a bit longer of a cooldown. However, it's a percentage of maximum health. It's half the health bar over 6 seconds, so it's a healing over time. And then it blasts a healing wave that does 60% of all of that healing, which if you have one big tank that has a bunch of HP, this can fully heal you potentially and all of your other lesser minions. That sounds really strong. Bone Shield is pretty straightforward there. It's a shield that makes so they can't be interrupted. I'm guessing that's what faltered means. And Removes negative effects and amplifies healing received. That's pretty nice. I'm guessing it's all negative effects, which makes it very valuable there. And then Bone Shield lasts for 8 seconds. It reduces damage taken by 25%, increases the healing received by 100%. And then it pushes back and applies Weaken when you cast this on a greater minion. Or, sorry, I read that wrong. Whenever the target is hit by a melee attack from a greater minion, it pushes it back and weakens them. So that's a good defensive ability that can just help with general tankiness. Lifeblade grants an effect with 3 charges. During the effect, hitting an enemy with a melee attack and creates a healing pulse around you, healing allies for 10 HP. That seems pretty good to have that base healing with just, you cast this and you have some life steal essentially for a maximum of 30 HP. Not bad. That might be a good secondary. And then Nullifying Strike does damage. So we have a healing spell that does damage, and it also gives you some barrier per enemy hit, and then silences them as well. So if the enemy also has a buff on them, they are stunned and the buff is removed. That seems really powerful. I haven't seen a lot of buffs yet, though. So I think I'm going to go with Seed of Hope. Or, sorry, I'm going to keep Healing Touch there. Go with Seed of Hope as my secondary. This was a really fun time. I think this game has tons of potential. And what's currently here is fun to play. Now, it may not be worth the price of admission right now for some of you. I personally enjoy seeing how these games grow over time. And I feel like I got my money's worth so far. And I'm definitely going to continue to play this on my own time. I may record a few more episodes of this to get a sense of more of the progression. But yeah. First impressions are I'm very excited to see where this game goes, and it's fun right now. So if you want to check it out, the link is in the description below. And again, I'm not sponsored for any of this. I just like checking these games out, letting you all know what's what with these, showing you some gameplay, and giving you a good idea of what you're getting into if you decide to take the plunge like I did. Hope I see you all later in the next video.